Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 212A, it's the Tier 9 Soviet SPG on the south spawn of Prokhorovka, and it's being commanded by Angelina75. Game on! I think you noticed right at the start there that Angelina's got, well, bounty equipment and the improved equipment on this 212A. She rather likes this Arty, and she's rather good at it. So let's have a look and see how she gets on in this game. 2 marks of excellence on the barrel of her 203mm howitzer, capable of doing 900 alpha and penetrating 52mm of armour. Just moving to a firing position now. Now the really good thing about the 212A in my book is the fact that you get extra ammunition. You get 40 rounds in the 212A. You don't get so many in the M53, M55, unfortunately. No, they seem to punish you or penalise you just because you picked the American Arty. I mean, the dark thing is you actually get more rounds in some of the other Artys as well. The FB3805, the British SPG, has 40 rounds. GW Tiger gets... oh, that's a direct hit. GW Tiger gets only 15, but that's because they're 21cm rounds. But the poor M53, M55, he only gets 20 rounds as well. But this Arty gets 40, so you get a chance to do a lot of damage against the enemy. Okay, we've got a Wizzy 111 Model 5A up on top of the hill. She's dialed in, ready to go, but she decides not to shoot because she doesn't have a clear confirmation of where that enemy is, but she knows where this 60 TP is. And we also know where the enemy Arty is. He's right next door to the railway line. Okay, she's got to work out where to put the shell. That looks to be right. And another direct hit. Now, as many of you know, Angelina75 has a regular competition with talon1958 over who actually gets the best replay of the week, and whoever it is, they get to lay in at the weekends, and the other one has to look after their little boy Remy. So let's see who's actually going to get the lay in this week, because it's got 2 replays back to back, both in the 212A, and one by Angelina and the other by Talon. Well, that was a direct hit as well, and that was the Wizzy. She's changing position to avoid counter battery. Okay, centre line again. The 60 TP just won't go away. It is a good firing position, but it's not the best place to be because you are vulnerable. Okay, Angelina's lining up her shots. Rounds out. Oh, we didn't see what happened to that shell, but I think that it might have actually hit the buildings that were ahead of the 60 TP, because when she pulled back, the building had disappeared. So yeah, I think she just demolished somebody's country dasher. Okay, we've got a Leopard prototype who's in that spotting position just at the edge of C1 and D1. You can always tell when there's somebody there because the fences have been knocked down, and it usually means that they're in the bush just ahead of it. Usually on Prokhorovka, that's a good spot to fire at because there's nearly always somebody who will go up to that bush to spot the enemy. Oh, that 60 TP is just getting hit by our M53, M55, and we're lining up another shot on him. Keeps going back. No, he changed his mind. He's going forwards to try and get a shot. She's holding fire just until she knows where he is. Another direct hit, this time for 144. And again, she changes position to avoid them counter-batterying her. Okay, that Leopard prototype was in that position, but we now spotted a Gorilla 15. I think it was our EBR90 who spotted him. Okay, we're going for the Leopard prototype. Rounds out. Direct hit! 306 hit points. It's not a penetrating shot, but it certainly hurts him. Okay, Angelina's going back to the 60 TP. He's almost out of hit points now. If she can get a good strike on him, she might be able to take him out altogether. That was the M53, M55. Instead, Angelina's going for the E75, the other side of the railway tracks, rounds out on him, and she splashes him for 243. She can see from the back of the vehicle, Angelina does have an ace tanker in this vehicle already. She's using vents and vent purge to increase the ability of this vehicle to reload faster, aim faster. It's just so much better when you use all of those features. And the Leopard was in the bush, and he gets splashed for another 106, which makes him a one-shot. The M53, M55 couldn't get a shell right on the target there, but our EBR's quite close to them, and he's got very low hit points at the moment, so he is also a one-shot. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes down very shortly. Okay, the 60 TP's popped up again and died. Centurion Action 10 got him. You notice how the arc of the Arty is very narrow. It's only 8 degrees in total, 4 degrees either side of the centre line, but it does dial in very quickly as compensation. The Arty was originally designed on the hull of a KV-222, but it never got built because, well, the KV-222s never got built. It was only a test vehicle in between getting the KV-3, and that was a direct hit. Picked up another 198. I think you can see that shell looks like it landed on the gun mantlet. It's kind of yellowed on the gun mantlet. Well, he's now gone in for a face hug, and the Wizzy has died. Unfortunately, our Viz 55 died as well. Rounds out the STB-1, lands in front of him. Only one tank up on the enemy at the moment, so it's still early days. Our team are now starting to push over the hill. That STB-1 now is vulnerable. If Angelina can put a round into him, our team might be able to roll over the top of him and conquer the east side of the map. So, but it's a long flight time. It's 3 seconds or 2.9 seconds for the shell to reach the target from the other side. Okay, she's lost sight of him. He's probably just behind the bushes. She's marked the spot to let her teammates know. There he is! And he just killed our teammates. And Angelina sprays him with 198. Unfortunately, yes, we lost the Centurion Action 10. Standard reload for this Arty is 37.39 seconds. Angelina's got it down to 29.27 because she's using the rammer and the Vets Purge and possibly Brothers in Arms as well on the crew. Okay, she's looking at the bush behind the spotting bush. Yeah, I think that leopard was probably in the spotting bush a bit further, a bit closer to us. Moving position again, avoid counter battery. Okay, well, the problem is now there's one tank at either end of the hill, with the STB-1 basically having the advantage. We know where one of the enemy Artys is. It's in grid square A6, right next door to the railway line. And we know that there's a number of enemy tanks further up the road on our side of the map. But nobody in sight. actually fired that shot in based on the fact that there was a tree knocked down there. The enemy team has two Artys in this game, an FV3805 and an M53 There's a pretty good chance that one of them's over this side and the other one's over the other side. Now that was speculative shooting again. She saw a whole bunch of trees knocked down, and she's working on the basis that they were knocked down so that they could shoot over towards the railway line if the enemy made an approach from that direction. Well, the STB-1 has come over the hill, and in fact now he's facing off against the M103, and we lose the M103. Yeah, that STB-1 always had the advantage. He's got a good 105mm gun. He's fast, he's mobile. Angelina fires in. No. And now our M53, M55 is in a whole world of trouble, because he's actually the other side of the railway line, and he might get spotted any moment. In fact, there's the STB-1. He pokes over the edge and he fires around. I think he's firing at our Arty, and he's gone. Okay, can Angelina put a round into him? Well, the Waffenträger's turned up instead. Angelina tags him for 132. But it's now this team has actually gone very defensive because they're 2 down. Angelina's relocating because the way it is at the moment, there's a good possibility the enemy's going to make a move on the cap. Our Leopards move closer to try and intercept that STB-1 and the Waffenträger. It's a good relocation. Got a nice number of bushes here. Okay, now can she get a shot on the STB-1 or the Waffenträger? I'm pretty sure they are in the corner. Just need the Leopard to spot for us. At least I think the Waffenträger's probably in the corner. The STB-1's probably gone to the bushes. The Object 705 is approaching the crossing over the railway line, so as he gets closer, there's a good chance that he might proximity spot the STB-1. So Angelina needs to be ready to quickly aim as soon as he spots them. There he is. Oh, it's the Waffenträger's in the bushes. He's just taken a hit. Angelina fires in and she gets the kill. So she got her first kill. The STB-1 dashed over the other side of the railway line. He's very low on hit points, so one shot from the 705A is going to finish him off straight away because he's got 750 alpha from that big 152mm gun. And now it's 9 all. There's the enemy Gorilla we saw earlier in the game. He's on the move. Can we get a shot? Leading shot. Oh, it went long, but all we got was some stun. Now we're 1 up on the enemy now because the 705 just killed the STB-1. So if we push this, we might be able to get a win. The AE Phase 1 suddenly appeared. He's crossed over the railway line. The enemy's going for a full-out assault, and they've taken the Leopard 1 out, and they're really pushing to try and get to our cap in time because they know that time's running out. Rounds out. It lands between the two. The Gorilla gets killed by RT95. The AE Phase 1's receiving multiple shots, and he's now a splash kill or a direct hit. Yep, he's gone. So now there's only 3 enemies left with 50 seconds left on the clock. This could go either way. It's either going to be a draw or it's going to be a win. There's the T54E1, the autoloader. Can we get a shot into him? Angelina, take him out. Yes! She does it! And there's the M53, M55. There's only 2 enemies left. They're both the Arty. There goes the M53. The other one over by the railway line must be the FV3805. And everyone's homing in on there as quickly as they can to try and find him. He's just by the railway line. There he is. The EBR90 found him. Angelina's loading as quickly as she can, and the kill shot comes in from the 705A, and the game is a win with only 9 seconds left on the clock. Well, as Angelina says, this one went right down to the wire. Only 9 seconds left at the time. It was an ace tanker for Angelina75 in the 212A. She managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. And she got a Confederate as well, because she hit more of the enemy than anyone else on her team. Her win rate from this battle was 3,921, which is Super Unicum standard. And you can see this battle took place on the 16th of August 2021. Let's have a look at the team score and see where she was. She didn't get the highest damage in the game. That went to the STB1 on the enemy team with 5,530. He picked up a high caliber and a top gun. And the second highest damage was Arty95. He got 4,548. He picked up a steel wall. The third highest damage in the game went to Angelina with 3,258 hit points. So a very good score. And of course she got the Confederate. And then we got that 705, got the last shot of the game. He got a Piscucci's medal because he killed both of the enemy Arty. Let's have a look at the number of kills. And we can see the STB1 got top there with 6 kills. The T95 managed 3. The 705 managed 3. Angelina managed 2. So she's in joint third position alongside the E3, the Striv 1030 and the E75 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP though, it was Angelina right at the top with 1,129, 988 went to the T95, 970 went to the Object 705A. She fired 21 rounds in that game, got 8 direct hits, no penetrations on the enemy but 19 splash. Damage of 3,258 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. She damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 2, so there was a 7 difference there. And 2,395 hit points of stun assist off 17 stuns. I'm pretty sure the combination of that much damage with that much stun was easily an ace tanker. She earned 55,211 credits, 65,000 for completing missions, 120,211 altogether, and ammunition resupply, it took away 40,000, so she took away a profit of 80,101 credits altogether. 1,693 XP times 2 for the first victory. 3,387 from personal reserves took away 6,774 experience points altogether. So a very good game by Angelina. It's going to be a very tough job for Talon to get better results than that. So let's have a look at his battle. And here's the battle by talon1958. He's on the south spawn of Fisherman's Bay in the 212A. I think you could see right at the start that he's got a similar equipment setup to Angelina. He's using vents, innovative vents in this case, or improved vents, and vent purge as well to massively improve his ability to reload on time, but he's only got 1 mark of excellence on the barrel of his 203mm, whereas Angelina has 2, and I think that might be because Angelina's getting more practice than Talon is. Yeah, he's a hard-working guy, and therefore he's actually getting less practice than Angelina. Okay, now he's not aiming yet. Oh, yes he is. Hold on. Ever since they made the changes in the latest client, we have to press the G key in order to get the correct view. Well, he managed to land a round into that corner. I think it was probably near the enemy 75, but if so, it won't have been a huge amount of damage. He's changed position, and he's taking aim at his next target. It's going to be a Panzer 58 Mutz this time. He's almost loaded. Rounds out. And splashes the Mutz for 72. Well, so far he hasn't earned as much damage as Angelina had in the first few shots. She was getting precise direct hits on the enemy. But you know how precision or how precise Talon is at getting shots on the enemy, and from this position he can hit the enemy tank, which is an Object 432 that's hiding just behind the windmill. So he's firing a round in, it hits the windmill itself. This is the thing I like about this position, because you not only be able to hit the enemy that's on the east side of the map near the town, you can actually hit the enemy over on the other side of the battlefield if they hide behind the windmill. Okay, the MX-5120, he can hit that guy, but it'll only be a splash. The Patriot, though, is probably an easier hit, and we can see where one of the enemy Arty is, because he's just saw the tracer emanating from that position. So he must be in grid square A7, behind the house, probably right on the corner of A7 and A8. I think he's probably behind that rock. Okay, there's the Patriot again, sitting behind the house. Can't get a shot on him. The Wizzy 111's making a quick dash through the town, taking some punishment, but rounds out, and I think that shell actually hit a building. And we can also see the enemy Arties firing in this direction as well. He needs to move closer to these bushes to get accurate shots directly up the line of fire. In fact, actually might be better going behind the lake to get shots up that way, instead of being able to shoot straight up the main street. Okay, E75 dialing in, almost ready. Ready now. Round south. Direct hit. 399. That's making it up. That's much better. That one hit the side of him. I think he actually hit the rear side of him, so that will certainly avert the E75. He's getting ready to fire another one at this guy, because he's rather silly, sitting there, egging the enemy to shoot at him. And when you do that, you just invite to get hit by Arty. That's out. Another direct hit, 266 this time, and he's tracked. And we're getting stun assist as well. I think you can see that Talon's got exactly the same reload time to Angelina, 29.27 seconds. That means he's shaved off 7 seconds of reload time from standard. Rounds out the Patriot. Unfortunately, it hit the building. Again, there was no shell arriving at the destination, which means it must have hit something on the way. I'd be tempted to move over to closer to the lake to actually shoot from there, because at the moment these buildings are getting in the way. Now he'd like to hit that Skoda if he can, and I think he's going to try and dial in on him. He keeps backing up. They go round out. Yes! 324 from the splash. Yes, he'll get much better results the more he is in line with the road. Okay, he's looking at the Skoda to see if he can get another shot into that one. Lost sight of him though. We do have two teammates up at the centre line, an LCTB and a Leopard. They should be able to spot for us, but I think the Skoda is more wary about getting hit by Arty again. The 432 is still sitting behind the windmill as far as we know, but we've got nobody spotting nearby except the Fox, the CS52 Liss, and he's a little too far back for us to know exactly where that object is. Right, now looking for the Arty, he's actually behind that rock, there, that rock, just in the field view now. That's where he is. The reason I know that is because we could see where the tracer was coming from. Okay, the Skoda's appeared again. And our teammate in the other Arty, who's M53, M55, managed to get a round in there. And we put one in as well. Yep, somebody else is marking where they think the Arty is. They just marked A7. It's either a GW Tiger or an M53 M55. Now I suspect it's probably the M53 M55 that's up there. And the reason I suspect that is GW Tiger doesn't move very quickly, so he's probably stayed fairly close to the spawn point or moved over to the west side of the map where he's got more protection. The CS59 coming around the corner gets a direct hit for 411. Talon needs to move a bit further away now. He's going to get shots on those guys because they're coming in from the west and there's a large number of them. It's almost like they're mounting an assault. This is good. He's actually getting into a position now where he should be able to hit the guys further up in the town as well as the ones coming towards the cap. But unfortunately, we just lost our SU-130 PM. There is the Tiger, the Yag Tiger. Dialing in. Almost ready. Rounds out. It landed right in front of the Yag Tiger for only 150. And the CS59, well, he's using that rock for cover at the moment. Not going to cover him from Arty though. Talon's definitely going to try and put something onto him. He's decided to move. He's stationary. Direct hit! Lovely shot. 31. That's all we got, but it is a kill. And this Scorpion, well, he's wants to go back to the garage, so he's decided to push all the way down the baseline of the map, and he's coming straight into a whole world of trouble because he's about to meet a T-54E1. Going for the CS59 instead. Rounds out. Direct hit! 456. He lobbed that one over the rock. And the CS59's decided now he's going to throw caution to the wind and try and push. And that could result in him getting wiped out because he is a one-shot. And the LTTB, he wasn't able to see the LTTB. And the LTTB makes his presence known by shooting him. But can we help? Rounds out. Yeah, we got the kill, but unfortunately we lost the LTTB. The T56 on the enemy team got the kill on him. There he is. And they've got a T69 up there as well. Now the scores are even, but the enemy has most of the territory. They're pushing us into the corner. Okay, can he land a shell between that gap on the Scorpion? Yes! 385, it landed on the ground just in front of him, but it's done a huge amount of damage to him, making him a one-shot. And the T-54E1 with his autoloader can now move up and take him out. Okay, the Patriot is very low on hit points as well. Sam can probably get a shot on him. This is very similar to the other game in terms of the damage and effectiveness of Arty, but of course Angelina, I think, had better supporters on her team. Talon, unfortunately, his team have let him down a bit by giving up territory. Rounds out the Patriot. He gets a hit, 191, makes him a one-shot. And he's still stunned and pulling back. I think we can see one of the enemy Arty is in the corner, so he is that's probably the GW, more than likely. As I said, he wouldn't move too far away from the spawn point. The easiest thing to do for a GW, which is a slow-moving Arty, is to move to the west. The other Arty is definitely in grid square A7. Now, Tanner's lost sight of the enemy. The T-54E1 did take care of the Scorpion, so whilst we weren't watching that corner, he's now killed that guy, and we're only one tank down on the enemy. They've got two Arty, we've got one. Both sides have got two heavy tanks. The Patriot, though, has got very low hit points. We've got more hit points than the enemy's got. Talon's already up to 2,745 hit points of damage. 2 kills. The enemy Arty, well, they've only got one kill. Oh, somebody knocked something down there. So one of the heavy tanks is in that area, but I think he's gone from that position now. Talon's backing up right against the edge. Now, there's one thing Talon could do at this moment. He could relocate from this position over to the west side of the map. Because we know the enemy heavies are over this side for certain. And all the enemies got over the other side is the Arty. And there's one of them, the M53, M55 relocated. And he's now moved to the bunker. And the T-54E1 made quick work of him. So the scores are now even. 3 left on each side. The Arty that was over the other side, oh, it was the other way round. The GW Tiger went towards the river or to the coastline, and the M53, M55 was over on the west side. So I got that wrong. Now, if Talon makes a move over to the other side of the battlefield, he might be able to move towards the cap with the T-54E1. I have the feeling the Renegade and the Patriot are trying to move. Oh, there's the Renegade. We found him. Okay. Or rather, the T-54E1 found him. Can Talon slow him down? Rounds out. Yes, he tags him for 281, so now he's a one shot as well. And the T-54E1 might be able to take him out. In fact, actually, now he's put himself in a position where Talon can kill him because he's now decided to face off and side scrape against the E1. And that could be fatal for him. Talon's loading and he goes down. And there's the Patriot. And he's the splash kill if we can get the round near him. Rounds out. Unfortunately, he moves away, far enough away, but the E1 kills him anyway. And that means now it's a race to get to the enemy Arty. We know where he is. Grid square A7, A8. I think he's hiding behind the rock, and the E1's going straight in that direction. Yep, everyone's saying charge over there. It's 36 seconds left on the clock. This one is going to be close. They need to move. As many Americans would say, and Talon is an American, say haul your ass in that direction. He gets him and wins the game. Well, here's the end of battle results, and it was a first-class tanker for talon1958 in the 212A. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one, he managed to get 14, and he got a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And his win rate from that battle, 4,107, which is actually higher than Angelina75 managed to get. Yes, hers was, if I remember correctly, 3,291. He got 4,107. But Angelina managed to get an ace tank and a Confederate, and Talon only got a first class and a Confederate. So I think Talon was the one who actually had to get up at the weekend and look after Remy instead of Angelina. So yes, because I think she scores better than he does there. But anyway, let's have a look at the end of battle results in total. Yep, and they thought they'd won. Yes, they did. They really did think they pushed, but it didn't work for them. Let's have a look at the scores. And we can see the high scorer was the T-54E1. He got 3,896 hit points. He picked up a Pascucci's medal, a Radley Walters, and a Top Gun from that game. And the second highest damage in the game was Talon. So he's got it's the same as Angelina, picking up the second spot. And he managed to get the Confederate and 3,407. And the third highest damage in the game was the Renegade on the enemy team with 3,141. When it came to kills, it was the T-54E1 with 8 kills. 2 kills went to Talon. Oh, 3 kills actually went to that Skoda T-56. 2 kills went to Talon, so he's in joint third place with the Renegade and the Scorpion on the enemy team. The enemy Arty, by the way, got a Confederate as well, and our T-34 got a Confederate, so he must have hit the same number of tanks that Talon did in terms of difference. So when it came to base XP, it's the T54E1 with that Radley Walters and the high caliber. 1,332 went to him, 974 went to Talon, 967 went to the LTTB. So again, Angelina scores a higher base XP in the end of that game. Let's have a look at the detail. He fired 21 rounds in this game, 7 direct hits, 1 penetration on the enemy and 14 splash. Damage of 3,407 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 2, so there was only a 6 difference for Talon, but there was a 7-1 for Angelina. 1,413 XP XP. 1,413 hit points of stun assist of 13 stuns. So he got less stun assist, but he got more actual damage in the end of that battle. 48,090 credits from the game, 50,000 credits for completing a mission, probably first win of the day, 98,090 credits altogether, and after ammunition resupply took away 57,980 credits profit. 1,461 XP, times 2 for the first victory, 2,922 from personal reserves, 5,844 experience points altogether. So yeah, I had the feeling that Talon's going to be the one getting up at the weekend. Angelina gets the lion. 2 exceptionally good performances by both of them, but Angelina did get that ace tanker out of it because of all the stun assists she managed to get, whereas Talon, well, he did very well. He got more damage in the end, but less on the stun assist. Got a higher win 8 because of that damage. But yes, in the end, he ends up with the first class and Angelina gets an ace tanker. So I hope you enjoyed both of those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And do let other people know our channel exists and that we've got a sister channel called The General where you can see really great replays, earning pools medals or collar ban offs. Thanks for watching.